All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to look at something pretty fascinating: how one organization, Caladenia, actually builds a culture of respect from the ground up. I mean, this is a really thoughtful and practical approach, so let's just get right to it.
So it all kicks off with this. This is their core mission. Right from the get go, you can feel the tone they're setting. It's positive, it's all about the people, and it's totally focused on making sure every single person involved feels genuinely supported.
But here's the thing: that's the real challenge, isn't it? I mean, it's one thing to have a nice sounding mission statement up on the wall, but how do you actually make it real? How do you live it every day? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack here: how they pull it off.
Okay, so let's get into it. How does Caladenia tackle that big question? It all starts with their core philosophy, something they call the Caladenia Way. Let's break down what that's all about.
And this is a huge point. For them, this isn't just about, taking a box to follow the law. It's a proactive, conscious choice that people are making every single day. It's about living the values, not just having them written down somewhere.
And here they are. It's that simple. The entire philosophy is built on these three super powerful pillars. Everything else we're going to talk about, it all flows from these three things: kindness, respect, and professionalism. All right, so if you want to build a positive culture, you got to be super clear about what gets in the way, right? So this next part is all about defining what is just not okay. And this isn't about being negative, by the way. It's about being precise. See, by clearly calling out the behaviors that tear down respect, Caladenia makes its positive principles way more powerful and actually actionable. Okay, first up, bullying. This is one of the most misunderstood issues in pretty much any workplace. And what makes Caladenia's approach so good is that it's all about total clarity. They define what bullying is, but just as important, they define what it isn't. So here's the official definition they use, and I want you to notice two really key words here: repeated and unreasonable. This is so crucial. Why? Because it separates that ongoing targeted stuff from just a one-off bad day or a simple disagreement. It creates a really clear, objective standard. And this just lays it out perfectly. Look, on one side, you've got clear examples of bullying: yelling at someone, purposely leaving them out, that kind of thing. But on the other side, that's just normal workplace stuff. Fair feedback, managing performance, even someone just having a bad day. They explicitly say, hey, that's not bullying. And that clarity is absolutely everything. Okay, so building on that same idea of clarity, the framework also gets really specific about harassment and discrimination, two other big ones that can really damage a culture of respect. When it comes to sexual harassment, the key word here is unwelcome. And that's a really critical distinction. It means the focus isn't on what the person meant to do, it's all about the impact it had on the other person. That's the standard that actually matters. Now, harassment is a bit broader, and it's tied directly to someone's identity. We're talking about behavior that demeans someone because of who they are, targeting them for their race, their gender, their disability, things like that. And that leads us right into discrimination. So think of it this way: if harassment is about demeaning behavior, discrimination is about unfair actions or treatment. It's when a bias actually leads to someone being treated worse or denied an opportunity simply because of who they are. Okay, so we've laid out what to avoid, we're clear on the don'ts. But what about the do's? How does Caladenia actively build the positive side of things? This is where their whole framework really starts to shine. And here's the big pivot. The focus shifts away from just a list of rules and don'ts to a set of really proactive do's. It's all about giving people simple, powerful actions they can take that shape their daily interactions and literally build the culture from the ground up. And these 5 actions, this is the practical guide. The real power here is how simple they are. This isn't some complicated rule book. It's just a set of active commitments, to really listen, to support each other, to actually value different perspectives, and this one's huge, to speak out when something's not right instead of just staying silent. And this really gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? A great culture, it's not something you build overnight with some big new program. Nope, it's filled in thousands of tiny, consistent, positive moments that make people feel safe and like they actually belong. Okay, now for what I think is the most creative part of this whole thing. They have this surprisingly fun and really memorable way to make all these ideas actually stick.
Just look at this. Isn't this brilliant? They've translated these core behaviors into something so simple and unforgettable. So instead of some abstract rule, you get be like happy, just smile and make eye contact. Don't be bashful, which means speak up if something isn't right. Don't be grumpy, a great reminder that your body language matters. It's playful, it's easy to remember, and it's just a super effective way to reinforce those daily habits that create a great culture.
So when you boil it all down, it all comes back to this. It doesn't matter if we're talking about the official definitions, the positive actions, or even the 7 dwarfs. The goal is always, always the same. To create a place that's built on respect, inclusion, and just plain kindness.
So there you have it, the Caladenia way. And it kind of leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about, doesn't it? It's just a great reminder that culture isn't somebody else's job. It's built by every single one of us in all those little choices we make every single day. Thanks so much for tuning in.